Just practice from the June 26, 2018 talk, Basic Meditation Instruction. Today I would like to give instructions regarding basic meditation practice. Meditation is mental culture, to culture this monkey mind. Or we can say that it's mental training, training this mind to be in the present moment. We have two kinds of meditation. One kind is called tranquility, samatha meditation. With this type of meditation, we try to focus our mind on one object in order to gain peace of mind. We use this kind mainly to gain concentration and to gain jhana. The other kind is called vipassana meditation, or we can call it insight or mindfulness meditation. With this type of meditation, we're not supposed to focus our mind on one object only, but instead on our body, our sensations, our emotions, our thoughts, and on our mind. We're trying to be aware of these phenomena in order to realize their nature. When we practice insight vipassana or mindfulness meditation, we should have a primary or home object of meditation. The primary object generally means focusing on the breath, breathing in and breathing out. You want to know that you're breathing in and breathing out. Another primary object to focus on is abdominal movement, rising and falling. When you breathe in, the abdomen rises. When you focus on the abdomen, you make a mental note, saying in your mind the word rising. The rising of the abdomen and the noting mind should be simultaneous. It should be in the present moment. When you focus on the rising, you have to follow the movement from the beginning until the end of the rising. You just label it rising. The rising of the abdomen and the noting mind should arise together and disappear together. When you breathe out, the abdomen falls downward. In that moment, just be aware of the movement, the falling of the abdomen, and mentally label it falling. Follow this movement from the very beginning to the end of the falling. If you keep practicing, you'll eventually know every moment of your abdomen rising and falling. Firstly, just try to realize this rising and falling, and later on you will understand their cause and effect relationship. You'll understand their impermanence, suffering, non-self nature, and so on. You will understand their nature. In the beginning, we will not see this, we will not realize their nature, so we need to keep practicing. It's like how we learned at school. Our first year we went to kindergarten, the next year we went to first grade, and so on, step by step. In the same way, we practice meditation to 307, the collected teachings of Luang Por Chaya, c. to know this, rising and falling. For example, when you focus on the rising and falling, you will know in the present moment that your abdomen is rising and then falling. If you do it for 6 seconds, you will gain peace of mind for 6 seconds. As long as you keep noting and practicing the meditation, focusing on the rising and falling, no greed, no anger, no delusion, and no worry arise. This is how to purify our mind. The mind is like a monkey. It's the nature of a monkey to always be running and jumping. It won't sit still. It's their nature. But if we train the monkey every day, many times a day, finally, he will sit still next to us. In the same way, without practicing meditation, this monkey mind will jump and run and wander, thinking, all the time. This is the nature of our mind. We need this mental culture, this mental training. This mind spends most of its time thinking about the past. Sometimes we feel sad about something. Sometimes we feel happy about something. And sometimes we think about the future too. We're always worrying or feeling happy about something. But this happiness, for example, has nothing to do with spiritual happiness. Think about the nature of sensual pleasures and sensual objects. This happiness is greed. In Pali terms, we call it lobha, greed, craving, or attachment. This is a mental defilement. It's akusala, or unwholesome consciousness. Sometimes we feel sorry about something. This sorrow is one aspect of anger, so sorrow is anger. And anger is like fire or poison. If we're sad about something or get mad, what happens? It's like a fire burning our heart. We feel unhappy and uncomfortable. So what do we have to do? If we don't practice meditation, this anger or sorrow will arise on and on. This means we'll have unwholesome consciousness, mental defilement, and no peace. But the Buddha taught us how to purify the mind from greed, anger, delusion, and so on. So just focus your mind on your primary object. Know your abdomen is rising and falling. Keep practicing that. There'll be no room for sadness or sorrow to arise. Try not to think about the past or the future. Try to stay in the present moment. Our body, our sensations, and our feelings are always manifesting their nature, so try to be mindful, to be aware. Try to observe what happens to your body. What kinds of feelings arise? Try to know them. If you feel sorry about something, just label it. Sorry, 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 sorry. Sorrow is unwholesome consciousness, and knowing means kusala, or wholesome consciousness. Wholesome and unwholesome consciousness cannot arise at the same time. 308. Just practice. We need to practice meditation to be aware of what happens to our body. Whether the main object of your meditation is the rising and falling of the abdomen or it's the breath, knowing you're breathing in and breathing out, either is fine. Choose one. Choose whichever is easier for you to gain concentration, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable, and just stick with that as your main object of meditation. Even though we may try to not think about anything, still the mind thinks. This is the nature of the mind because it's used to thinking our whole lives. It keeps thinking, always thinking. Now, we have to try to stay in the present moment. If some kind of feeling arises, try to be aware of that. If you feel sorry about something, just label it, sorry, 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 and then return to your main object of meditation. So we should know our main object of meditation. Whatever else appears to our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind is called a secondary object of meditation. If there's no secondary object, stay with your main object. This is the method, the technique. Training the mind is very easy, very simple, but also very effective in gaining peace of mind and gaining our spiritual goal. We need to keep practicing to get used to it every day. Not just for one day or for 1 hour, but always. We should practice mindfulness meditation from the time we wake up in the morning until we go to bed and fall asleep. We can do it anytime, anywhere, and in any posture. I would like all of you to try the best you can to focus on your main object of meditation. If something happens that is more obvious than your main object of meditation, just be aware of it and label it. For example, you are sitting in meditation and you think about something else. If you're thinking about something else, it means you're forgetting to focus on your main object of meditation. As soon as you realize that your mind went out, just be aware of it and label it, going out, and then return to your main object of meditation. If you think about something, just be aware of your thinking and label it, thinking. This means that whatever is happening in your thoughts or in your mind, you'll know it. When we sit in meditation, we're trying to watch our mind, our body, our feelings, our sensations, and our emotions. There's nothing special. And stay with the main object of your meditation, abdominal movement, rising and falling, or the in and out breath. Sometimes your mind still wanders a lot, thinking about this and that, and traveling all over. When you know your mind has many distractions and is wandering a lot, label it. Wandering. 309. The Collected Teachings of Luang Por Chaya, Wandering. If you don't label it, your mind keeps wandering on and on and on. That's why you need to try to make a mental note. Get used to doing it. As you do, instead of your mind wandering for 5 minutes, maybe it'll just wander for 1 minute. If you get used to your mind going out, you will notice it right away. You then label it and return to your main object of meditation. By doing this, instead of your mind going out 100 times, you can gradually reduce it to 99 times, 98 times, 90 times, 50 times. In time, it won't go out at all, and you'll gain deep concentration. This is how to train your mind. With regard to feelings, Feeling sorry about something, for instance. It's the same. It's just anger, arising one moment after another, and it can take up a lot of your time. Now, though, you don't allow this anger, this fire, to burn in your heart. Try to realize it's there, and then return to your main object of meditation. That's the benefit of meditation. It's very useful and wonderful. So we need to practice insight vipassana meditation. We have so many kinds of things to learn, not just mindfulness meditation. We have other things to support our meditation practice as well, to make it stronger and stronger. We also need to practice loving-kindness meditation, practice recollection of the virtues of the Buddha, think about the impurity of the body, practice death meditation, and so on. We have 40 subjects of meditation. Kamathina. Meditation is like medication. At home, we have many kinds of medication. What kind of problem do we have? We then take the right medication. In the same way, the Buddha gave us 40 subjects of meditation we can use, depending on our mind and on the situation. It depends on what we need at that time. So the Buddha gave us 40 subjects of meditation. For instance, we may feel sorry about something and anger arises. When anger arises, sometimes we may need to practice loving-kindness meditation as an antidote. When we practice that, the anger goes away. It's very easy. On another occasion, maybe craving or lust arises, so we may need to practice contemplation of the impurity of the body, and then the craving goes away, and so on. We have many techniques, many medications. That's why meditation is the best medication to cure mental diseases. So I'd like all of you to try the best you can to be aware of everything that happens to your thoughts, your sensations, your feelings, your emotions, and whatever you experience through your eyes, ears, 310. Just practice nose, tongue, body, and mind. Try to be aware of it, label it, and then later you will understand their nature, arising and disappearing. Nothing lasts long. It just comes and goes, one moment after another, as part of its suffering and its non-self nature. May all of you be able to practice insight vipassana meditation and gain vipassana knowledge and freedom from greed, anger, and delusion. 311.